What up, cucks? It's your boy, the hater, up in this bitch. And this video has been spurned forward by a hater of the haters who went on one of my videos and made a comment saying that I should do this and I should do that for the community. Now, this video is not about this nobody. I don't care about this guy at all. But it made me think that a lot of people seem to be under the impression that there is this internet wrestling community. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I am not part of that community. And I don't care about most people that are in it as far as I'm concerned, right? I care about two communities. That is my family and friends, and of course, the hater community, which is me and all the y'alls, you know what I'm saying? The hateful 2,700. Boy, have we gone a long way from the hateful eight, cucks. And with that being said, let's talk about this wrestling community. Number one, all right? A community must have some sort of goal. If the goal of these communities are some sort of undertaking that they're doing in order to improve their lot, right? Now, if the goal here is to push people like Cody Rhodes, then nah, I'm definitely not part of that. Secondly, the wrestling community, as I understand it, is generally a bunch of people that read things like Pro Wrestling Insider and like WON, whatever the hell that stands for, right? And all these other publications. Now, long ago, even before this channel started, but definitely since this channel started, I have made it clear that I don't like any of these publications. As a matter of fact, I don't think the majority of these people know at all what wrestling is. Just because someone thinks that they are an expert in wrestling or anything else does not make them such. And the hater can give you a perfect example of this. Sometimes I do business consulting, right? And I present myself as an expert in various things. Now, the hater is quite the intelligent guy, if you can't tell, but there's a lot of things that I'm not an expert at, right? But when I present myself as an expert in these things, people are willing to pay me significant amount of money to do things that I may not even know that well, right? Now, the hater, of course, does his due diligence and learns them before he goes out dishing advice to people, right? Whether that's teaching someone, philosophy or teaching them anything about business or giving them advice on how to do something, right? But the point is, just by saying you're an expert, you're going to get validation from people because people do not have the nerve nor the energy to go and explain to each other and to vet out who is and who's not an expert. Like, do you really think that Jon Stewart understands more about politics than the guy at Starbucks? Probably not. But because he's labeled as an expert and a comedian, right, he gets more clout, right? He gets more prestige from it. The guy at Starbucks could be much better at politics and he could be much more humorous, right? The point stands. So, taking this concept and applying it to people like Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez and all these other people, right, Jim Cornette, just because they think they know, don't mean that they know. I'm a Vince Russo guy, all right? That's the person that I think got it right. That's the person that I think really understands how the medium of wrestling and entertainment TV works, right? And that's the guy that had the best success. I don't care that WCW failed under him. So what? He's not going to have, not everything's going to be a success. But the point is that the best things that we got from wrestling were Vince Russo things, right? It's as simple as that. Now, with that being said, the idea that there's this community of wrestling fans and presumably wrestlers that interact with them on Twitter and all that other stuff is silly, right? I don't even if this community were real, I don't want to be part of it. I am not a fan of communities that don't need to exist. Go read Kurt Vonnegut's Cat's Cradle, and you'll understand everything I'm talking about. Look up the word Granfalloon. Now, with that being said, people not only expect everyone to acknowledge this wrestling community, which I do not acknowledge. Now, I will say that there might be people in the wrestling community that I do like, right? I don't know if they think they're part of the wrestling community, but obviously, it's no secret. I like J-Rants. I like Casual Q. I don't like Technical Worker Productions. I don't know if any of these three people are in the wrestling community, but I don't listen to Technical Worker Productions, and I try to catch the occasional J-Rants and obviously Casual Q as well. I do listen to them because I like them, right? But the truth is the truth, cucks. The truth is the truth. I personally, even if they think they're part of the community, I think of them as J-Rants and Casual Q, and I think of Technical Worker Productions as two guys that I don't care about at all. Right? So the point I'm trying to make is this. Not only do they want you, the community people, the Cody crybabies, not only do they want you to acknowledge the community, but they impose, just like this guy in the comment, he thinks like, oh, this is not helping the wrestling community. First of all, number one, I don't acknowledge wrestling community, and I don't think anybody that has any sense really does. Two, even if I did acknowledge it, I have no interest in helping them. 3, even if I had an interest in helping them, I have no obligation to help them. And number 4, more importantly, ain't no way, cucks, that I'm going to filter what I want to say so that it is for the benefit of the wrestling community. As a matter of fact, that guy and many others that have made the same point, they don't understand. The entire point of the hater is that I don't like the internet wrestling community. And I think that the internet wrestling community, by and large, is a toxic community that does more harm than good. As a matter of fact, I don't think they've done anything good. I think they've gotten everything wrong. Daniel Bryan, they got it wrong. Nakamura, they got it wrong. Fandango, they got it wrong. Chanting whoa, 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 whoa to every single song, they got it wrong. That's what your boy thinks. So with that being said, why in the blue hell would I want to help out or do things that support the wrestling community? And also, here's another thing that the guy said that I think is worthy of discussing, right? This idea that, oh, you're making the community more toxic. Maybe it needs to be more toxic in a different direction, right? You don't think it's toxic that people are talking about which diva is the most attractive in this sea of horses that we have that present themselves as divas? You don't think it's toxic that people are saying that they would go gay for Finn Balor for no reason? You don't think that's weird? Right? That's not what wrestling's about, right? Toxic is not just, it upsets me. Toxic is, wait a second, this is going to a place that it doesn't need to go to, right? If you're not going to sexualize people, you can't simultaneously be like, I don't want to see beautiful girls, and then be like, oh, Finn, though, he really gets me going. You know what I'm saying? If that's your bread and butter, go ahead, man. The hater got nothing against the gays. If you want to go jack off to Finn Balor, be my guest. But don't bring that to me. Not because it's gay or anything like that, but because it has nothing to do with wrestling, right? You can say things if you want and be my guest, right? But in the discussion of wrestling, you'll never hear the haters say like, oh, this person is this and this person is that, unless what I'm saying has to do with the medium of wrestling, or there's some sort of ancillary thing that's happening that is sociologically, philosophically, or economically interesting. For example, the Vince McMahon saga, right? The point I'm trying to get forward here is this idea that not just the wrestling community, but no community can force you to be part of it, right? Especially the wrestling community, which is a community of invaders, right? Back when wrestling was good, there was no community. People were just WWE fans, and the cool kids watched it and talked about it at school. The hot girls wore DX t-shirts when the hater was a kid, right? The high school girls wore DX t-shirts when I was like in elementary school, you know? Like, people on TV were talking about it. It was interesting. Now nobody gives a shit, and we have to worry about the community. No, if it were up to the community, we'd have CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes, 2 unathletic jobbers. Well, okay, fine, Cody Rhodes is athletic. I'm not going to sit here and spew lies to your boys, right? But the truth is, this community is detrimental. And not only am I happy to not be going in concert with the community, I am happy that I'm going against it, according to this guy. I am happy that my contributions are against the community, right? That's never been the goal. The goal has just been to talk about wrestling. I have no aspirations. Oh, I'm going to change the game. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm not like some of these other YouTubers. Right? They're like, look, it's time for us to do this. We're going to make a change. You're going to do nothing. Shut your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Shut your mouth and watch Raw and watch AEW and talk about it, right? Or don't watch it. I don't give a damn. But the truth is this. I have no interest in being part of this community. And in my opinion, the community gives me nothing. If you want an echo chamber that's going to tell you how underrated Stardust has always been, then be my guest, Cox. But this ain't the place for you. If you want to have fun, if you want to hear some interesting and fun takes and the haters' off-brand style of humor, then this is the place for you, cucks. The hater has never begged for $1. The hater has never begged for a like or a subscribe. Now, I might say subscribe today, but I don't give a damn about that. That's just me ripping off some other people that I like, you know what I'm saying? The truth is this, all right? Forget communities. Be your own man. If you have one opinion that goes against the community, then you gotta say it. Just like, for example, a few days ago, I did a video on the guy that burned himself. Every YouTube comment I see is how this guy is a martyr and how this guy is a hero. I was thinking to myself, I told my friend yesterday, I was like, am I the only one who thinks this guy's stupid? Right? And for a second, I was like, man, I don't want to say that. I don't want to be insensitive. And, you know, these are not hater thoughts, but I was thinking these things. I'm like, I don't want to be insensitive. You know, I don't want to offend. But then I'm like, wait a second. A dude burned himself alive, and I'm not supposed to say it's stupid? No. Because if people like me don't say it's stupid, then some other moron might decide to go burn himself because Final Fantasy didn't come out on time. Who the hell knows with this generation, right? So the point I'm trying to make is this. Stay clear of communities unless the communities represent the things that you want to see. The wrestling community, the internet wrestling community, largely does not represent what I want to see as far as I know, right? So I have nothing to do with them, and I want nothing to do with them. And in my personal opinion, you can do whatever you want, but in my opinion, all of you that believe that you're part of the internet wrestling community, I say, why don't you think for yourselves and think which parts of the things that I hear from the IWC are things that I like and I agree with, and which parts are things that I would love to change. And with that being said, cucks, take care of yourselves.